Good day, ladies and gentlemen. To some of us that still believe that the sin that Adam and Eve committed in the Garden of Eden was eating of apple, I say, let me greet you people. They won't know. I greet you people. So even after Jesus has told us that it is not what a man eats that defiles a man, but that what comes out of a man that defiles a man. That what man eats, it goes out to the drought and it's passed out as an excreta. But many of us are still held on that the sin that Adam and Eve committed in the Garden of Eden is that they ate apple, or that there was a tree in the Garden of Eden. God told Adam and Eve not to eat, or the day they will eat it, they will die. Now, you see, there's something you must understand about the story of Genesis. And when you're studying the book of Genesis, you must understand that the story of Genesis, like the story of the rich man and the Lazarus. In the story of the rich man and the Lazarus, there was a real life story, a real life character. Sorry, a real life character and fiction. Take for instance, the Bible said the rich man was so rich so that when Lazarus come to beg for food, and the rich man wouldn't let him eat, he wouldn't give him anything. So the crumbs that fall off the table, that was what Lazarus was feeding on. So at the end, when both of them died, Lazarus was taken to the bosom of Abraham, while the rich man went to hell. And the Bible makes us to understand that while the rich man was in hell, he looked upward and he saw Lazarus in the bosom of Abraham, and he pleaded for Abraham to let Lazarus dip his finger in the water and put it on his mouth so that he can quench his thirst. Now, one of the things I learned from that story is that this story is a real life story. It wasn't a real life story. Jesus was just telling a story. But the character, there was a real life character, which is Abraham. Lazarus and the rich man never really existed. Jesus was painting a story. The same goes for the book of Genesis. So when you read the story of the Genesis, the book of Genesis of creation, you should understand that now there are real character and there are fiction. Take for instance, Adam and Eve, yes, true creations of God and true character. But the devil wasn't Satan. You can see that the writer used the serpent wasn't Satan. But the writer uses serpent to paint the image or character of Satan. And so when you read such a story, you understand that there are two character play here: real life character and fiction character. And so in that book of Genesis, when the Bible said, when the Bible talk about the tree and the apple and all of that stuff that people usually believe is what the Adam and Eve ate, and that they were sent out from the garden, that was not true. Because you can't eat, it is not what we eat that makes us to defy God. What defies God, what defies us, which makes us to sin against God, is the thought that comes out. It's why the Bible will tell us that guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it come out the issues of life. And so, if you want to live a justified life before God, you must be ready to guide your heart, your thought. So Adam and Eve thought towards God's will was against God's will. They rejected God. That was the sin of disobedience. They disobeyed, they rejected God's will. And that is not the only sin. It was the same sin Cain committed against God when he made a sacrifice. Normally, the sacrifice that Cain that atoned for sins was blood. Remember, when Adam and Eve fell, God killed an animal to shield them, to cleanse them of their sin. The same goes for Cain. I believe the parents that have told them that for you to be cleansed from blood, you must minimize the right sacrifice. But Cain decided to use what he has. So you don't bring your own will to God. And so this same sin of rejecting the will of God, it is the sin that has been from the beginning. It is the same sin the children of Israel also committed against God when they rejected God by making another image, a golden calf image, against God's will. They rejected God, and the Bible Moses said God wanted to blot them out of the book of life. It is the same sin that still cut across the Bible today. If you reject the gospel, you have also rejected the will of God. So Adam and Eve never ate anything to sin against us, because we don't sin by eating or not eating.